Hello everybody, this is Prowl and this is your Diablo IV news roundup where I go through and check out all of the news that can be found on Diablo from the company themselves and the developer Twitter accounts. This is my first time doing a news roundup and it is something that we are going to do regularly here on the channel, so if you like this type of content, please leave a like on the video and drop a comment down below. Let me know Diablo news that you've heard recently or your favorite bit of news from today's video. And today we start out with a big one. It is about the Paragon board, and we have some new fresh looks and information on it. So let's dive into the video that the Diablo Twitter account has put out and take a look for ourselves.
The Paragon board is a late game system that once you've completely filled out your skill tree, you think you have a build, it will really let you delve into the theory crafting and the depth of Diablo 4's skill system.
And these boards, they can move through them spending their Paragon points, and they have nodes that give them very basic stats like intellect or dexterity. We also have more powerful nodes. We have rare nodes that have different effects where they can totally modify a skill to do something additional or different, or they can even make new connections between skills so that players can have new ways to play their character. Legendary nodes are equivalent to legendary powers, where they have more powerful effects that can change the builds and ways that characters play.
So this is your Paragon board system, which is a end game system to boost your stats, boost your skills, and make your character more powerful. Right here in the beginning, they show the fact that you can spin or rotate the boards to start on different sides of it. You kind of see this like gateway on either of the four sides. So as you go through and complete one board, you lead to another. But if you have a skill, let's say way up here, that you want more for your character, instead of starting down at the bottom and having to work your way up through it, you can simply rotate the board around and more quickly and easily get to the skill that you are targeting to get. In this screenshot here, we do see the use of glyphs in the board. Glyphs can be inserted into different segments of the board. We see a slot for one right here, and we have a glyph right here. It is a level 1 glyph. And then when you insert it into the board, for every 5 intelligence purchased within range, you gain plus 0.8% increased damage to vulnerable targets. The current radius size of this is 2, meaning that it will reach out 2 slots around that particular glyph to look for those particular intelligence boosts to consider for the vulnerability. And I said earlier, the glyph is level 1 because you can level up these glyphs as you go through playing the game. I have not seen specifically where you level these glyphs up at. I'm assuming it's just through having them equipped on your board and gaining XP as normal. You can see over here on the right hand board on the screen, we have a glyph already inserted, and it is showing the radius that glyph is affecting. Now this is the +2 radius size, and you can see it as a more like, I guess, circular-ish type shape rather than a big square, meaning that it's going to go out 2 in each direction, but it's going to connect diagonally. It's not going to connect in a perfect square. Something to keep in mind when you're judging how many attributes are going to go towards the power of that glyph. You can see here that your Paragon boards will often have standard attributes to them. That's going to be a majority of the pathing you do to get from one area to another on the board. Things like willpower, strength, dexterity, and stats like that you'll find across the board. And here you see where you can travel to a rare node. These rare nodes, which you can see right here, will have increased or advanced powers to them, such as this one giving you 28% core skill damage plus 10 dexterity. And you can tell that 28% has a 14% bonus to core skill damage because this person has over 540 intelligence, meaning they get that extra boost. There are also lesser nodes on the board, like the magic node. This one's giving 7% core skill damage. So you can see as you start to go through this board and stack up a lot of these particular nodes, whether it be the magic ones or the unique ones or whatever, they can become very, very powerful and greatly enhance the power of your character later in the game. And as you can see here in this particular example, we have reached the end of a board, and it is showing us our board selection for the next board. We have a general summary here that tells us what the legendary node on that board does, what the rare nodes on that board does. And if we want to, we can click the preview button to actually see the full board and hover over all their attributes and kind of see what paths you'll take and what you'll do, allowing you to pre-plan before you select the next board. Now, in relation to this board, I asked a question that I'd heard somebody else ask before, towards Joseph Piapora. And I said, hey, Joseph, do you guys have plans to allow us to see all the boards prior to spending points? This way we can plan a little better while building our characters without needing to respec. Now, this is in reference to something I had heard, I think another content creator say, and I don't remember who, I'm sorry. But basically, when you go to start and pick your first board or start on your first board, you can't see what all the boards are and what they do. You don't get to see what other boards are and have available to you until you reach one of those gateway points at the end to connect to another board. So I was just wondering if you could see what another board has prior to reaching a connection point. And Joseph did respond and said it's something we're definitely getting feedback on and we'll be looking at in the future. Launch really is just the beginning, so sounds like something that they're going to take into heavy consideration going forward, as they do want the game to be a little bit easier for people to like to pre-plan things out. We do have another video here regarding legendary and unique items in Diablo 4. Let's take a look.
Legendary items are really rare and powerful items that you're going to find as you adventure through the world of Sanctuary. We have quite a few different categories of legendaries and how they do that. Some of them will actually change your skill or enhance it in some way.
Frozen Orb, for example, it might say, hey, every single time you use your Frozen Orb, it applies a new effect. And then I can actually take advantage of that new effect that it has. Even if the item itself is maybe not as good as the one you have, you can still extract that power from it, take advantage of it, and use it for your build.
One thing that our players can look forward to is that a lot of our classic, really rare and most powerful items from previous titles are going to be returning as uniques in Diablo 4.
Unique items are very similar to legendaries, but they're unique, which means if that ability is actually on a chest piece, it's always going to be on that chest piece because it's more powerful than a regular legendary effect.
That's really cool. Just giving you some additional information about how legendary and unique items work in the game. And it's going to be really interesting to go through as we go through the different difficulty levels of the game to find these legendary, unique, and then eventually ancestral items in the game. And then here are some examples for some of those unique items that exist in the game. For example, we have Overkill here, making it so a death blow creates a shockwave dealing 16 to 30% of its base damage to enemies. Enemies who die to this effect also reset death blow's cooldown. You have the Waxing Gibbous, where you gain stealth for 2 seconds when killing enemies with Shred. Breaking stealth with an attack grants ambush, which guarantees critical strikes for 1 to 2.5 seconds. And Gloves of the Illuminator. Fireballs now bounce as it travels, exploding each time it hits the ground, but its explosion deals 65 to 75% less damage. So some really cool, unique abilities that come along with some of these weapons here that are really going to make customizing your character something special in the game. Now, for clarification, Chris Thacker here asked, Joe, can you confirm that you can actually wear more than one unique item on a character? So I can technically wear a Shaco and a Wind Force, and I will get the bonuses on both. This is a great question because these uniques seem to have some pretty crazy abilities on them, or some very like character changing abilities. And Joseph did confirm, that's right, you can wear multiple different unique items and gain each of their benefits. That is really cool. And going outside of the items and more to a skill-based question, Jordan asked, confusion around lightning damage. Does all lightning damage have a chance at base to 1, stun, and 2, form crackling energy, or do you need gear/skills to unlock these features? Rod asked for a little help from Joseph here, and Joseph said that lightning damage does not natively possess these special traits. Players will need to spec towards these effects through the skill tree and in the Paragon boards to unlock more of those benefits. And really, you're going to see that a lot in the game as you go through, that you're going to have base powers and you're going to have a number of different ways to add new abilities to those powers and then further enhance them. Speaking of powers, we have another post from the Diablo account here about ultimate abilities. Let's take a look. Now, these ultimate abilities that you see used there, those abilities were available to you if you were playing in the prior beta weekends. I think if you made it up to level 24, you had enough skill points to specialize in some of those abilities. They are extremely strong, and you can only choose one ultimate ability per class. Now, you can unspec out of that and change to another one, but you can only have one actively spec'd at a time. Okay, I want to move into some stuff around like crossplay, the different platforms you can play the game at, etc. And we're going to start here from Adam Fletcher. Adam is answering a question coming from a lot of people he's seeing, where Lewis asks, so if I buy the ultimate version on Xbox and the normal version on PC, all my items from my Xbox account will be on Battle.net 2? And Adam responded, yes. I keep getting this question, and the answer is yes. Diablo 4 allows you to carry over all your content / purchases from other platforms, and is handled via Battle.net linking. The only caveat is early access and deluxe / ultimate editions that is held to the platform of purchase. Basically, anything that you do to a character, items that you get, any gameplay is more or less saved to the cloud, right? So if I'm sitting here playing on my PC and then I decide I want to go and play on my Xbox sometime later, all of my progress does transfer over live. Now, we got another related question here from Zerelius saying, hey, thank you. Going to be couch co-oping with my wife, who also has an account. We have PC accounts, but PS5 seems like it might be the go if we can co-op like previous titles, if possible on console, ? Adam says, yeah, consoles support couch co-op. One caveat here is, this has been said before, PC will not support co-op like console will, so just keep that in mind. But if you have somebody in your house you want to do some couch co-op with, you are able to do that on consoles. Now, again, somebody else asked, and this is kind of related to something we saw in the last one, if I get the Ultimate Edition on PC and the regular edition on Xbox, will all the extras I get on PC carry over to the Xbox version as long as I connect my two accounts? And Adam says, yes, except early access. That is just PC. Now, we're about to get a clarification on this, but basically, if you buy one version on one system and one version on another, the extra perks you get on Ultimate Edition will carry over to that lower edition. Now, I want to clarify something here that Adam had referenced, and based on some of these like Twitter posts here. Basically, what he's saying with these tweets is that if you buy Ultimate Edition on, say, your Xbox, and you buy the basic edition on your PC, you do get the benefits of the Ultimate Edition on both platforms, except Ultimate Edition does get early access. That early access, since it was purchased on the Xbox, can only be gained on the Xbox. Meaning that in this case, the Ultimate Edition on the Xbox would get early access to start playing the game on the second, whereas the basic version of the game on the PC would not be able to do early access because it is a basic version like purchase of the game. So only that one thing, the early access, is the only thing that does not transfer over from one device to another, from one platform to another. Marcel here asked, hey Adam, quick question I was wondering about, is the D4 Season Pass cross-buy on your Battle.net account the way Destiny 2 handles it? Basically asking, if I buy the Battle Pass on my Xbox, let's say, do I also have the Battle Pass on my PC? Which Adam says, yes, Battle Pass is by account and not by platform. That's really awesome, because nobody wants to have to buy, you don't want to have to buy the Battle Pass on two different platforms if you're going to be switching between them based on however it is that you want to play the game. Here for Rod Ferguson, we have a poll that was put up. Okay, with cross-play and cross-progression, including the rewards and incentives being shared, I'm curious on which platform you're going to play Diablo 4 on. Now, I personally play for PC, so I put it there. And take a look at this. I think a lot of old school Diablo 4 players are going to be quite baffled by this, honestly, because Diablo has traditionally been a PC game, although it has Diablo 3 and even Diablo 2 now is on the console as well. But look at this, 46% on Xbox and then another almost 20% on PlayStation. So you're looking console play as 20, 46, it's math on screen, 66% of players. And then if you say multiple cross-platform, add in another 7%, like you have like 80%, no, you have almost 70% of players are going to be playing this game on a console, not on a PC. That's actually really interesting to know and see. It really just speaks to all the haters out there that are kind of crying about how this game is designed to work on a console, so it's not as good. This is your proof right here of why they need to do that. You're getting a maybe 70% increase in your player base because you have it available for all of these different platforms. Definitely a great decision, and I think the developers have done a great job with that balance. Here's another cross progression question. Here, is it cross progression between PlayStation and Xbox? Yes, it is. And another one where Husilio, I'm sorry, I can't say your name right. Are we going to get Diablo IV on the Switch? And Rod has said that nothing is planned. And we kind of know the Switch is kind of at the bottom of the barrel in terms of performance for consoles. So not a surprise there, although it would be cool in the future to see Nintendo Switch players have access to playing this great game as well. A question from Breaking Bravos here saying, I heard rumors that are more than one starting area in the full game, including the Druid quest area. Is this true? Which Rod says, there is one starting area, you wake up in a cave. This is true, and I think what this person is getting confused with is that you don't have to necessarily progress through the game as we have in the past and going like Act 1, Act 2, Act 3, Act 4. Like, it's not a linear progression. You can more or less travel the world and go to where you want and do what you want because of how the game scales difficulty to your character, with some exceptions, of course. But there has been reference in the past to a area for the druid to go to get unlock additional skills, and you can go to that area earlier than maybe you would be able to in past Diablo games because of how you can kind of skip around in the world and not have such a linear gameplay. Here from Rod Ferguson, we have a retweet from Diablo IV, literal ride or die. Let's go ahead and check this video out. There's a lot of really cool things from here that I noticed, and I'm wondering if you guys caught them too. Let's kind of fast forward here. So obviously, like, just for travel and getting around these large worlds, we can teleport, so it's not that big of a deal to like teleport from one area to another. But honestly, like being able to travel on horseback or like whatever this thing is, it's like a moose or something. It's really cool. But watch some of these dismounts. So you're using a skill to dismount off the mount. First of all, look at the animation for that. I've never seen that before, but that seems really cool. So I wonder if this is going to be a normal thing with most classes, where when you go to dismount off of one of your mounts, you can just use a skill and it will automatically enable that skill as like a dismount. So like this one, he's jumping up in the air and shooting a bunch of arrows. That was really cool. We have this one right here from the necromancer shooting up some bone spikes. We have a sorcerer right here, like casting a magic spell. This is really cool. So it looks like the mounts are going to be pretty like seamlessly to transition between getting on them and getting off of them. And then also, as you can see, lots of different customization options here to like unlock and use, or to make your mount look the way that you want it to look. So this is really neat and really fun to see. And a little bit of fun that Rod Ferguson was having down here. Somebody asked, we hope to see mounts outside of horses. And Rod said, well, I wouldn't want to ride inside a horse. Little joke there. So no clue, no way to tell if we're going to see other kinds of mounts that aren't just horses. I imagine you're not going to see anything too fantasy related, but I guess we never really know, do we? Also, something else from the Diablo account here I saw. Those of you that play Diablo for a long time, you may be aware of this secret cow level. And while I don't know that this has necessarily been confirmed anywhere, here's a little hint right here. Can't imagine this many cows in one place for any reason. This could just be a reference to Diablo games of old, but could we maybe see a secret cow level in Diablo 4? Finally, a little bit of lighter news. We do have a update from Adam Fletcher here, basically just explaining to you how to get into the Server Slam coming up May 12th through the 14th, including a early pre-download. So feel free to pause the video right here and read through this, or follow Adam on Twitter. Also, yesterday was May the 4th. It was Star Wars Day. Today is Revenge of the 5th. So happy like second Star Wars Day to a lot of you guys, I guess. There's no side darker than hers. This was a really cool piece of art I thought was interesting to see. Also, congratulations to Adam Fletcher. This was yesterday, I think, was his 3-year anniversary of Blizzard. So Adam, congratulations on that. Really glad to see you having a great time on the Diablo team and all the great things that you've been doing and the information you've been providing to the community. Rod here did let us know that the Diablo IV team is still hiring. That is awesome to see as well, because this means that they are really invested in continued gameplay after launch for this game. You have roles around production, engineering, game design, including like dungeon design and UI and like all sorts of different design-based positions, and art. So you really have a lot of roles available at Diablo right now, that they're at Blizzard for Diablo, that they are currently hiring for, really showing us that they are putting their all into developing this game after launch to something that people are going to want to continue to play for years to come. Now, we're going to have some new news coming here pretty soon. On May the 10th, there's going to be another developer update live stream. I did not see, oh, here it is, 11 a.m. Pacific time. I'm Eastern time, so that would put us at about 2 p.m. Eastern. I may do a view party for this where we watch together and comment on the things that they talk about in this stream. So make sure you follow the channel, subscribe, and catch my live streams. And just in case you're wondering what kind of special information we're going to get here, somebody did ask if we're going to get to see or hear the possible date for season 1 to start. And unfortunately, Rod is not going to be giving up that information. But anyways, I appreciate you all coming in. This was a pretty big news roundup. I think I'm going to try to do these about every day or two. So if you enjoyed this one, please click the like button if you're on YouTube, subscribe to the channel on YouTube, follow on Twitch if you're watching me there. No. Follow on TikTok if you're watching this video there, and I'll see you in the next roundup.